Math lesson 116. Here's a new kind of problem. We're going to compare these fractions. To do that, we have to change both denominators. The denominators are 4 and 6. 4 and 6. Now ask yourself, what is the lowest common denominator for 4 and 6? The lowest common denominator for 4 and 6 is 12. So we change 3/4 into 12ths and 5/6 into 12ths. So 4 times blank equals 12. What goes in here? 3. 3 over 3. Remember, whatever you put in here goes up here as well. And what is 3 times 3? 3 times 3 is 9. So that'll be your numerator. Now we change 5/6 into 12ths. 6 times blank equals 12. What's the answer? 2. 6 times 2 equals 12. So this will be 2 over 2. And what does 5 times 2 equal? 5 times 2 equals 10. So, which is more, 3/4 or 5/6? Remember, 3/4 is now 9/12 and 5/6 is now 10/12. Which is larger? 5/6 is a larger fraction. So we add this in. Now open your workbook to lesson 116 and find part 1, A and B. You're going to do this on your own. Problem A says 3/8 and 2/5. This is like the problems you just worked. You have to change both denominators. Now ask yourself, what is the lowest common denominator for 8ths and 5ths? The answer is 40. Now rewrite both fractions, then complete the original statement. Pause the video now to show your work. Here's what you should have. 3/8 turns into 15/40 because you multiply it by 5 over 5, because 8 times 5 equals 40. And 2/5 gets turned into 16/40 because 5 times 8 equals 40. So, which is larger? 15/40 or 16/40? 16/40. It's closer to 40 out of 40. So this fraction is larger. Problem B. The fractions are 7/6 and 9/8. Pause the video now to set up and work the problem. Now, ask yourself, what is the lowest common denominator of 6 and 8ths? The answer is 24. So rewrite, or you should have rewritten both fractions to have a denominator of 24. This is what you should have. 7/6 turns into 28/24, and 9/8 turns into 27/24. Now please find part 2 in your workbook. You're going to make a line plot and answer questions. Each point on the line plot will show tenths of an inch. The first fraction shown is 7/10. The next fraction would be 8/10. Write the fraction for the tenths. This is what you should have. The fractions tell the lengths of the moths that Bernie collected. The unit name is inches. Write inches as the unit name. So write it right here. Fact A, Bernie collected 3 moths that were 10/10 inches long. 3 X's are going to go right here. Fact B, Bernie collected 1 moth that was 18/10 inches long. So 1 X is going to go right here. Fact C, Bernie collected 2 moths that were 9/10 inches long. So 2 X's are going to go right here. Fact D, Bernie collected 1 moth that was 8/10 inches long. So 1 X is going to go right here. Fact E, Bernie collected 1 moth that was 14/10 inches long. 1 X is going to go right here. This is what you should have. The length of the shortest moth is 8/10, where we have 1. The length of the longest moth is 18/10 inches, where we also only have 1. There are 3 moths that are 10/10 of an inch long. How many moths are less than 13/10 inches long? There are 6 that are less than 13/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. How many moths are more than 13/10 inches long? 1, 2 moths. Now, add this up. Here's what you should have. Because we have 3 here, it's going to be 10 plus 10 plus 10, so 30/10. 9 plus 9 is 18, so this will be 18/10. Now, add the numerator, all the numerators together. Pause the video now to do that. You should have 88/10. You're going to divide 88/10 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to divide it by 8. 88/10 divided by 8. Pause the video now to work the problem. Resume when you're ready to check. The average is 11/10. The arrow shows where our average is. Now please find part 3 in your workbook. Item A, you're going to make a shaded rectangle inside the square. Start at the dot and make a square that has 5 parts on each side. Like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts on this side. So there's 5 parts on each side here. Now you're going to draw a rectangle inside the square. The rectangle will show 3/5 times 4/5 of the square. The sides of the square show fifths. So make a rectangle 3/5 across and 4/5 down. 3 out of 5 across, 4 out of 5 down, like so. Here's 3/4, 3 and 4, 3/5, 4/5, right here. Shade in the rectangle. You're going to figure out what fraction of the whole square is the shaded rectangle. There are 12 squares shaded. 3, 6, 9, 12 squares in here that should be shaded. How many? That's the denominator of the fraction. Sorry, 12 is going to be our numerator. How many parts do we see in all? There's 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 is going to be our numerator. And how many parts do we see in this whole entire square that's outlined in black? We see 25. So that's going to be our denominator of the fraction. So 3/4 times 5/5 is 12/25. Item B, you're going to make a shaded rectangle inside the square. Start at the dot and make a square that has 4 parts on each side. Like so. Now you're going to draw a rectangle inside the square. The rectangle will show 1/4 times 3/4. So you're going to go across 1, down 4, down 3. Cross 1, down 3. Like so. Shade that in. Now you're going to figure out what fraction of the whole square is the shaded rectangle. The numerator is going to be 3. The denominator is going to be 16 because there's 16 squares in all. 3 is your numerator because there's only 3 that should be shaded in. So 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 4 is 16. 3/16. This is the same as this. Here's a problem you know how to work. It has a second question. The dog's weight was 7/2 the cat's weight. The dog weighed 42 pounds. How much did the cat weigh? What was the total weight of the animals? The equation you're going to start with is D equals 7/2 C. Like so. Yes, the dog's weight equals 7/2 the cat's weight. Start with that equation. In part A, figure out the answer to the first question, then figure out the answer to the second question. Pause the video now to set up the problem and work it. The answer to the first question is 12 pounds. The cat weighs 12 pounds. Then you added the weights of 42 and 12. 42 plus 12 equals 54 pounds. Here's a new question. How much more did the dog weigh than the cat weighed? Pause the video now to work the problem. The problem you should work is 42 minus 12. You're subtracting the weights of the animals. 42 minus 12 equals 30 pounds. So the dog weighed 30 pounds more than the cat. Problem B. Here's a problem that has 3 questions. The bench weighed 4/9 as much as the table. The table weighed 54 pounds. How much did the bench weigh? How much did both pieces of furniture weigh together? How much more did the table weigh than the bench weighed? Work the problem and write the answer to the first question. The letter equation you start with is B equals 4/9 T. Pause the video now to work the problem. So, how much did the bench weigh? The bench weighed 24 pounds. Now figure out the answer to the second question. How much did both pieces of furniture weigh together? You work the problem 54 plus 24. 54 plus 24 equals 78 pounds. That's how much both pieces of furniture weighed, 78 pounds. Now figure out the answer to the third question. How much more did the table weigh than the bench weighed? So you work the problem 54 minus 24. 54 minus 24 equals 30. The table weighed 30 pounds more than the bench. Now we're going to switch gears into fraction representation. This fraction reads 12/3. Repeat after me, 12/3. Now read the fraction as a division problem. 12 divided by 3. That tells you that you have 12 divided into 3 equal groups. 12 divided into 3 equal groups. That's what this is telling us. 12/3 is 12 divided into 3 equal groups. I'll show the groups as a row of eggs. How many rows of eggs do I make? 3. 1, 2, 3. The answer to the division problem tells you the number of eggs in each row. 12, so here's eggs in each row. 12 divided by 3 is 4. There's 4 in each row. New fraction, read it. This fraction reads as 14/7. The division problem for this would be 14 divided by 7. Yes, 14 divided into 7 equal groups, like so. 7 equal groups. The answer to the division problem tells you the number for each group. 14 divided by 7 equals 2. How many groups of cups are there? 7. How many in each group? 2. Now find part 4 in your workbook. Problem A says 15/5, also said as 15 divided by 5. How many groups will you make? 5 groups. You will make 5 groups. Make 5 lines to show the 5 equal groups. The answer to the division problem tells you how many are in each group. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So you should have 3 in each group. Make 3 eggs in each group, like so. There are 5 groups. There are 15 eggs altogether. There are 3 eggs in each group. 15 in all, 5 rows, 3 in each row. Problem B, 6/3, 6 divided by 3. You're going to make 3 equal groups. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So you should have 2 X's in each group, or whatever object you chose to draw, like so. Now open your textbook to lesson 116 and find part 1. You'll work these problems with mental math. Problem A. The numbers show how many flowers of different colors a person pulled from a box without looking. You can figure out the number of trials the person took. You just add the numbers for all the colors. So ask yourself, on how many trials did the person pull out a yellow flower? On 2 trials, the person pulled out a yellow flower. On how many trials did the person pull out a red flower? 7. There were 7 trials when the person pulled out a red flower. On how many trials did the person pull out a blue flower? 1. On 1 trial, the person pulled out a blue flower. The person took 10 trials altogether. Now, ask yourself, how many flowers of each color would you expect the person to pull from the box if she took 40 trials? If a person took 40 trials, what's the expected number for yellow? The expected number for yellow would be 8. What's the expected number for red? The expected number for red is 28. What's the expected number for blue? The expected number for blue is 4. Yes, the expected numbers are 4 times the numbers for 10 trials. Problem B. The numbers show how many marbles of different colors a person pulled from a bag without looking. Figure out the number of trials the person took. The person took 20 trials. Yes, 8 plus 5 plus 7 equals 20. If the person took 120 trials, what's the expected number for white? If they took 120 trials, they would expect to pull out a white marble 48 times. What's the expected number for pink? 30. What's the expected number for orange? 42. Yes, the expected numbers are 6 times the numbers for 20 trials. Now please find part 2 in your textbook. You're going to work problems that involve dividing units into equal parts. Problem A. Joe has 40 pounds of flour and wants to divide it equally into 32 bags. How many pounds of flour will be in each bag? This is what you should have. 40 32s. Simplify the fraction and write the answer as a mixed number with a unit name. Here's what you should have. Problem B. Lacey has 3 pounds of salad. She wants to make 4 equal servings. How much salad will be in each serving? Go ahead and work the problem. There would be 3/4 pounds salad in each serving. Problem C. A strip of tape is 34 inches long. We divide it into 5 equal parts. How many inches long is in each part? Work the problem and write the simplified answer with a unit name. You should have written 34/5, which simplifies it to 6 4/5. So each part is 6 4/5 inches long. Your independent work begins now. Textbook, parts 3 through 11. Make sure to reach out to me if you need any kind of help with this on Teams. I'm here for you 24/7. Otherwise, get busy.